Prolific, proactive, and definitely provocative.
What's wrong with being risque?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're taking a look at the life and career of Frank Zappa.
All right, New Jersey, let go of it now.
Frank Vincent Zappa was born December 21, 1940, in Baltimore, Maryland, but he moved frequently due to his father's defense industry work. Heavily influenced by avant-garde classical composers, R&B, and doo-wop, the young Zappa was soon writing, arranging, and conducting complex experimental pieces. After scoring a couple of ultra-low-budget independent films and working with artists like Ray Collins and Captain Beefheart, Zappa became the guitarist for the San Diego band the Soul Giants in 1965. He also began demonstrating what became a lifelong disregard for authority after 6 months in jail on bogus porn production charges. The assertive and confident musician soon took control of the Soul Giants and saw them renamed the Mothers of Invention. The Zappa legend swung into gear. The Mothers' 1966 debut, Freakout, was the first of some 6 Zappa albums released over the next 27 years. That double album demonstrated Zappa's command of different musical styles and featured Trouble Every Day, which focused on the racially charged Watts riots.
Wednesday I watched the riot. I seen the cops out on the street.
Zappa later penned more complexly satirical lyrics, as skewering anything that promoted authority figures or mindless mainstream attitudes became his passion.
If they're lucky, they'll get famous for a week or two perhaps. They'll buy some ugly clothes to wear and hope the business don't collapse.
During live shows, he proved both his improvisational skills and his experimental side. He often taped his performances and added them to studio recordings to make new material. Zappa was hailed as a startlingly original new voice, but many were confused by his constant mixing of genres. The Mothers of Invention did make it into the top 30 of the album charts, with 1968's We're Only In It For The Money, and scored a gold record for 1973's Overnight Sensation. But most of their recordings were embraced by critics rather than mainstream audiences. In 1971, Zappa's career was almost cut short. As recounted in Deep Purple's hit Smoke on the Water, he was performing with a new version of the Mothers at Casino de Montreux in Switzerland when the band's gear was destroyed by fire. Scarcely a week later, during a London gig, Zappa endured a life-threatening accident when he was pushed off stage by a fan. Broken bones, head injuries, and serious damage to his larynx left the singer wheelchair-bound for months. Zappa rebounded and had his only top 10 success with 1974's Apostrophe, which he released as a solo artist.
I've got troubles of my own, I said, and you can help me out. So take your meditations and your preparations and ram it up your snout.
The gold record contained his first single ever to hit the Hot 100 charts. Don't Eat the Yellow Snow peaked at number 86, but became one of his most recognizable tracks.
Frosted beer, the ground below was 100 degrees below zero.
In 1979, Zappa found mainstream U.S. success when the disco-satirizing Dancin' Fool off the live record Shake Your Booty reached number 45.
I hear that beat jump out of my seat, but I can't compete because I'm a dancing fool. Dancing fool.
He also found European success with that album's Bobby Brown.
Get a good job and be real rich.
Zappa's masterwork Joe's Garage was released later that same year.
So the band will run. When the roots fight, we will never play again.
The rock opera merged Zappa's concerns with individual will, government, religion, and sexuality, and his wildly eclectic music tastes in one stunning package.
Keep it greasy so it'll go down easy. Keep it greasy so it'll go down easy.
Further U.S. success came with the 1982 single Valley Girl, which he created with his daughter Moon Unit.
I like all these really great shoe stores. I love going into clothing stores and stuff. I buy the neatest mini skirts and stuff.
3 years later, Zappa made headlines by appearing at a Senate hearing to denounce the Parents Music Resource Center, whose aggressive promotion of a rating system for explicit lyrics he found repellent.
In this context, the PMRC demands are the equivalent of treating dandruff by decapitation.
He won his first Grammy for the 1986 instrumental record Jazz from Hell, which he recorded by using a synclavier synthesizer. Unfortunately, Zappa was diagnosed with inoperable prostate cancer in 1990. He focused his last few years on orchestral works and conducted his pieces at the Frankfurt Festival in 1992. On December 4th, 1993, he passed away.
I mean, the people who worry about being remembered are guys like Reagan, Bush. These people want to be remembered. And they'll spend a lot of money and do a lot of work to make sure that remembrance is just terrific.
And for Frank Zappa?
I don't care.
Death did not diminish Zappa's fame. More than 24 Zappa recordings were released posthumously, and his family was intent on keeping the Zappa legacy alive. Rolling Stone named him one of the 100 greatest artists and guitarists of all time, while musicians as disparate as Alice Cooper, George Clinton, and Jimi Hendrix have acknowledged his influence. Frank Zappa was one of the first rock artists to build bridges between genres like rock, jazz, classical, and musique concrète. He will long be remembered as one of rock's most fervent foes of censorship and narrow-mindedness.